Welcome back to Behind the Blue Lights, where we shine a light on misconduct, break down policing and legal issues, protect your rights, and call out the nonsense when it happens. Today's footage is brought to us by the auditor Alex Lennon, so don't forget to check the link below and show him some support. In this episode, the auditor finds himself caught up in one of the most ridiculous arrests you'll ever come across. After rushing to catch his train, he's stopped by rail staff for not having a printed ticket, even though he'd already bought it online. What should have been a quick, easy misunderstanding turns into complete chaos when British Transport Police show up and immediately take things off the rails. Instead of using a bit of common sense, one officer decides to escalate the whole thing into an arrest simply because the auditor doesn't hand over his details to staff or security. A civil mix-up becomes a policing disaster.
The money.
You haven't? You can refund
I have paid the money.
You're not listening. You're shutting your mind. You're not open-minded.
So
you're just tunnel vision
on your
opinion.
What are you trying to tell me?
We'll let the police come, the British
We'll let
Transport
the British Transport Police come?
We'll get your details.
Well, they will they will arrest me.
They'll get your details.
They will arrest me.
But you're not going to give them your details.
If they arrest me, then I will give them my details. I'm being denied exit from the station.
Right, have you paid just a ticket
Yes.
where you boarded the train?
I purchased the ticket and I can show evidence of that.
Right, have you printed that ticket
I wasn't
off?
able to get it printed, no.
Right, is there a reason why you were unable to get it printed
I was running
off?
for the train. I have to be in a really important meeting in Reading, and I had to run to get the train because it was going to cause me enormous problems if I didn't get that train and was delayed for that really important meeting in Reading.
Right.
And I thought, quite reasonably, that I've paid for a ticket.
Yeah.
I can prove I paid for a ticket. I can prove I've got the code for the ticket. And I literally, as I've said to these people, all I need to do is to go there to get that ticket and to show these people the ticket that I have purchased and paid for.
From the very start, this should have been sorted in seconds. The auditor clearly explains he's already paid for his ticket. The only issue is he didn't have time to print it because he was rushing for the train. He's got the booking on his phone, the code, and is literally standing next to a ticket machine where he can print it instantly. That's not fare evasion, that's just common sense. What makes it even worse is that the auditor is doing everything right. He's calm, upfront, and offering to prove payment on the spot. Any reasonable officer or member of staff would check the booking, confirm it, and send him on his way. Instead, a simple 30-second check is turned into an unnecessary standoff.
I understand their reasoning. All I'm saying is I've paid for a ticket, so my belief is that in law I can show I've had no intent to defraud anybody.
Yeah.
I haven't travelled this network trying to travel without a ticket, and I can evidence that. And so I did not intend to give these people my personal details. I don't believe they're empowered to take them, and I'm not going to give them to you. Should you, of course, arrest me, I will, of course, give you my personal details, and I will abide by the empowerment that you have. But I think, frankly, I can travel the country, I can go to Reading, I can go to Manchester, I can go all over the place, get a ticket, I can tap my phone on devices. It's only here in Liverpool that we seem to have this archaic system with these people who cause these problems for people who are just trying to pay for tickets and go about their daily business, minding their own business, which is all I'm trying to do.
Right, okay. Obviously, when you do purchase your ticket on the train line, you do have to tick to the terms and conditions that you have to print it off.
I don't know, nobody ever reads that stuff.
As you say, on this network here for Merseyrail, they do require you to have the said ticket printed off, ready for inspection at the gate or at the back.
The officer tries to justify the mess by pointing to the rail company's terms and conditions, saying the auditor agreed to print the ticket when he ticked the box online. But the auditor is spot on, nobody reads every line of that tiny print. And the company's own website makes it clear that only certain third-party tickets must be printed before traveling. If he bought it directly and can prove payment, that argument falls apart. What the officer completely ignores is intent. The auditor isn't refusing to pay or trying to sneak through. He's standing by a ticket machine offering to print it right in front of them. That shows he's trying to comply, not deceive. This isn't about a missing printout. It's about blind rule following winning over basic logic.
Say is that, anybody can have a policy. Anybody can make a rule. Yeah? Doesn't mean it's a criminal offence, doesn't mean it's a civil offence. I don't believe I've committed an offence. I mean, they may think I've broken their procedures and policies, that's fine. I don't believe I've committed any offence because I've paid money for a ticket to travel and I can prove that.
Yeah,
so where is my offence?
No, but you have got your ticket, but you've not printed the said ticket off.
Where's my civil or criminal offence?
But you should have printed it off before you travelled.
You could say you've got to stand on... Sorry to interrupt.
No, it does say, obviously, on the train stations and on the trains, that you have to have your ticket ready to present to these guys. And if you have it on the phone, which is the actual ticket, yours isn't the actual ticket. Yours is proof to say you've purchased a ticket, but you've not yet you've not yet printed that said ticket off.
I see what you're saying. My point is that what's happened, you could have a rule on the terms and conditions on Merseyrail saying everybody on the train has to stand on one leg, and everybody would have to stand on one leg, and you could threaten people if they didn't stand on one leg.
The auditor hits the nail on the head here. He's not breaking the law, he's breaking a company rule. And those are two totally different things. The law says you must pay for your ticket before traveling, which he did. He has proof, a booking code, and the ability to print it right there. What the rail company is trying to enforce is policy, not criminal law, and you cannot arrest someone for not following a business rule. His one-liner about standing on one leg perfectly exposes how absurd the situation is. A company can make any rule it wants, but that doesn't magically give the police the power to treat it like legislation. This moment shows the difference between someone using logic, the auditor, and officers blindly enforcing corporate nonsense.
Breaking the law if people don't do it. They're breaking your rules. And that's the difference I'm trying to get across to you.
This is their bylaws that it is a ticket period, which we do have to have a said ticket to come onto the station, and for as soon as you board the train, you should have a ticket of travel, unless your train station is closed and then you've taken a picture to say it's closed. Come to these guys and they will sell you a ticket.
It's often closed, it's often nobody there, and then it would be fine.
But you've purchased your ticket already, but unfortunately, because you haven't printed it off, you should have printed it off before you travelled.
So my point to you again is that I've looked at the bylaws, and I may be wrong, but I've read the bylaws, and my understanding of the bylaws is that they say if you break these bylaws, you may be taken to court. And if you're taken to court, and it can be shown that there's an intent to defraud, you may be prosecuted. Now I can show there was no intent to defraud. So if we go to court, it's all going to be very annoying for me, very embarrassing for Merseyrail, but I can show there was no intent to defraud, so I don't believe that I'm in any kind of, situation where I've broken these bylaws.
The auditor absolutely dismantles the officer's misunderstanding of the railway bylaw. He's talking about Bylaw 18 of the Railway Bylaws 2005, which deals with ticketless travel in a non-compulsory ticket area. The key phrase is with intent to avoid payment. That means there must be a deliberate attempt to dodge paying, not a mistake, not confusion, and definitely not someone who can prove they've already paid. There's zero intent to defraud here. And without intent, there's no criminal offense. Railway bylaws exist to stop fare dodgers, not honest passengers who've paid and can show proof.
The train line tickets, as you said rightly, you have to print out the tickets. If it's not printed out, it's not valid to travel on the train.
I know this is what the lady said to me.
Yeah, it's not valid on the train.
And what I'm saying is that
Can I just explain to you? Yes. What happened is sometimes people buy train line tickets.
Yes.
They don't print it. They do the journey. They complete the journey.
Yes.
What happens is they get refunded.
Well, that would be terrible.
They got refunded.
No, that would be terrible.
Okay, so some people does that. Okay, I'm not saying you do.
No.
Your intention to do that.
Specifically,
on these occasions.
Specifically, I asked these people to let me go just over there, to print the ticket. And they would see I'd printed the ticket, and they would know that it had been paid.
Their understanding would be, if they went here, you would have done the journey, and you got the refunded as well from the train line, which some people does that.
This PCSO's logic is honestly shocking. He basically accuses the auditor of what he might have done if the officers weren't there, which is not how the law works. That's not policing. That's guesswork. You can't accuse someone of potential fraud based on an imaginary scenario. The auditor literally offers to print his ticket on the spot, right in front of them, proving without doubt he's already paid and isn't trying to cheat the system. And the PCSO's argument collapses on itself. If the auditor really was trying to dodge the fare, the last thing he'd do is insist on printing the proof of payment while officers are watching.
You can deal with them as a civil matter, as you said.
Yes.
Yeah. You can give your details to them.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
And if you don't, then the police get involved.
Yep.
Police get involved.
As
indeed
the
criminal matter.
Yes.
Where it is dealt as a ticket fraud.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm not giving these people my details. Because I've paid for a ticket.
This is what's happening now.
There cannot be ticket fraud.
Okay.
Because I've paid for the ticket.
Well, that's no valid ticket.
There's no intention to defraud in law.
Well, we don't know because.
Well, I can prove it. I mean, I can show you the receipt and I can get it printed. There's no intention.
As I say, it's not valid.
Okay. Well, you know, if we have
reliably informed, that's not a valid ticket. It's a reference number for a ticket.
Well, I've had all three of you inform me that.
You should have printed your ticket off before you travel.
So, can I just go and print the ticket off?
No, you should have done it before you travel.
Oh, I see. So,
you can't travel without
so you're going to take me to court because you won't let me print a ticket. Okay, well, let's do it then. What do we do next?
Obviously, you need to provide your details to these people here. Can I just is there a reason why you don't want to?
Yeah, because I don't believe they're empowered to take them, and I don't believe I have to give them to
them. They do have the power to take your details.
No, they don't.
They do. They are accredited.
I don't believe that.
The BTP officer claims the ticket inspectors were accredited and could legally demand the auditor's details, which is completely wrong. Ticket inspectors are not law enforcement. Their powers come from the railway bylaws, and they can only request your name and address if they reasonably believe you intentionally tried to avoid paying. That's nothing like what's happening here. What makes it even worse is the officer's confidence. Instead of checking what powers the inspectors actually have, she simply takes their word as gospel and uses it to pressure the auditor. That's not teamwork, that's outsourcing police judgment to people with no authority. It's lazy, it's unlawful, and it shows exactly why public trust keeps slipping.
Arrested, I will give my details to the arresting police officer when hearing the basis upon which I'm being arrested, because that will then be used in the court of law.
Right, at the moment, I do have a necessity because you're not failing to provide your details.
I will not provide my details until I'm arrested.
Yeah. Why would I want to arrest you?
Well, I don't want you to arrest me, but
I don't want to arrest you and take you to custody.
Yeah,
and
I really
you've
don't
got
want
a
that
meeting
either.
to get to.
I really don't want
I've still got things to do today, obviously.
I'm not going to be pressured into giving people my details. I have a right the right to privacy. I will not give people my details and they're pressuring me to do that. I don't believe you have a right to take my details until you arrest me. If you arrest me, if there's a basis for you to arrest me, and you arrest me, and you tell me why I'm being arrested, I will of course comply and I will of course give my details. That's
you haven't
normal.
got the ticket.
I have paid for a ticket,
but
and I
that's
can
just
print that ticket just over there.
Yes, but you should have printed the ticket before you travel.
And you're going to arrest me for that.
I am going to arrest you for failing to provide a valid ticket to travel, okay?
So you're going to arrest me for
my necessity for
failing to
provide a valid ticket for travel, which you don't have on your person. You have a reference number, so I will arrest you for the offence.
And you won't let me print that to show you that I have a ticket?
Because you've already passed the point where you could have printed the ticket off.
So you won't allow me to print the ticket?
Okay. Well, obviously when I've finished dealing with you then, you can go and print the ticket off. That's fine.
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to come to our office and we'll speak out the way?
Yeah,
and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to follow this way? Thank you.
The decision to arrest the auditor is unbelievable. The officer admits he's already paid for his ticket and could print it on the spot, yet still claims it's invalid because he didn't print it earlier. The whole point of checking tickets is to confirm payment, and he could have proven that in seconds. Instead of using common sense, the officer punishes compliance and rewards stubbornness, turning a simple mix-up into an unlawful arrest. The auditor's update later on shows how absurd the situation really was. They went through the whole process, the arrest, the interview, the de-arrest, only to end up doing exactly what he suggested from the start: walk to the machine and print the ticket. British Transport Police chose heavy-handed procedure over basic logic. Legally, the distinction is massive. Buying a ticket is a legal requirement. Printing it is a bylaw requirement. Not printing a ticket doesn't make you a criminal, it just gives the company an option to issue a penalty if they can prove intent to defraud. The fact police didn't prosecute him afterwards shows how weak the grounds were. The auditor knew from the start he was on solid ground. He'd paid, he had proof, he had no intention to deceive, and any court would have thrown the case out instantly. His comment about the single justice procedure is the final nail. A quiet route the rail company could have used to push through a fine without scrutiny. He calls it unlawful activity for a reason. It exposes how companies, and sometimes even police, rely on people not challenging bad enforcement. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps support independent coverage. And don't forget to check out the Auditor and show him some love. This was Behind the Blue Lights. See you in the next one.